You might think you know South America, but its geography is hiding some truly wild secrets. Our planet is packed with incredible places, and for this video, we've gone deep to find the most fascinating and unexpected facts about this continent. Facts that will genuinely blow your mind. From colossal glaciers that seem to defy climate change to a criminal's bizarre living legacy that's rewriting an entire ecosystem, the truth about South America is stranger and sometimes more dangerous than you could ever imagine. Get ready because we're talking about a river that literally boils its victims alive, a ghost fleet of hippos from a drug lord's private zoo that now rules Colombian waterways, and mountains so remote they became the perfect hideouts for sprawling cartel empires. These aren't just facts, they are secrets hidden in plain sight across a continent of extremes. If you love uncovering the world's hidden wonders and hearing facts that sound completely made up, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our next adventure. Now, let's jump into the 25 South American geography facts you didn't know. Number 25. We kick things off in the criminal underworld. The remote, cloud-draped peaks of the Colombian Andes, with some towering over 18,000 feet, gave the perfect cover for something sinister. In the 80s and 90s, drug cartels, most famously Pablo Escobar's Medellin organization, used these inaccessible cloud forests to build hidden cocaine laboratories. The rugged geography, with its deep valleys and thick vegetation, made these production sites nearly impossible to find, allowing a multi-billion-dollar empire to thrive, shielded by the very mountains that define the landscape. Number 24. From criminal hideouts to an outlaw's living legacy. When drug lord Pablo Escobar was killed in 1993, authorities took over his massive estate, Hacienda Nápoles. They relocated most of his exotic animals, but 4 African hippos were considered too difficult and expensive to move, so they were just left behind. With no natural predators in South America, those 4 hippos have flourished in the Magdalena River basin. This one decision accidentally created one of the most bizarre ecological invasions on the planet. Number 23. That small band of abandoned hippos has exploded into a huge ecological headache. Today, the population is estimated to be nearly 200 individuals, and they are now considered a major invasive species. They've spread far from the original estate, disrupting river ecosystems, displacing native species like manatees, and changing the water chemistry with their waste. The Colombian government is now facing an unprecedented and costly challenge. What to do with a rapidly growing population of 3-ton herbivores, an entire ocean away from their native home. Number 22. And the problem is only getting bigger. In the predator-free paradise of Colombia's rivers, these hippos reproduce much faster than their African cousins, reaching sexual maturity at a younger age. Projections warn that if left unchecked, the population could swell to over 1,000 by the year 2035. The government has declared them an invasive species and is now wrestling with controversial solutions, from sterilization and expensive relocation efforts to the possibility of euthanasia. Each option is an ethical, logistical, and financial nightmare. Number 21. Now for a fact that seems to break the laws of nature. Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, there's a river called Shanay Timpishka, which translates to boiled by the heat of the sun. But the sun has nothing to do with it. For a 4-mile stretch, this river gets so hot it literally boils, hitting temperatures of up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. Anything that falls in, from small animals to unlucky insects, is cooked alive from the inside out. Number 20. The truly mind-bending part is why it boils. The river is nearly 700 kilometers from the closest active volcano, which rules out the usual cause for this kind of geothermal heat. The leading scientific theory is that fault-fed hot springs deep within the Earth are responsible. Rainwater, possibly from as far away as the Andes, seeps through deep cracks in the Earth's crust, gets superheated by the planet's geothermal energy, and then surges to the surface, creating a deadly natural wonder found nowhere else on this scale. Number 19. Staying with water, but going to the opposite extreme. The Amazon River is, without question, the king of all rivers. While it sometimes competes for the title of longest, there's zero competition when it comes to sheer volume. The Amazon pumps more water into the ocean than the next 10 largest rivers in the world combined. Its freshwater plume is so massive it dilutes the saltiness of the Atlantic Ocean for over 100 miles from the coast, creating a freshwater sea in the middle of the ocean. Number 18. The Amazon basin is a universe of its own, containing an incredible 10% of all known species on Earth. This biodiversity includes creatures that seem torn from the pages of a fantasy novel, like the famous pink Amazon river dolphin, and giant otters that can grow up to 6 feet long. The river and its rainforest are a living library of evolution, with countless species we have yet to even discover. Number 17. But the Amazon's wonders aren't just its animals. The river is so immense it creates its own bizarre habitats, including amazing floating forests. These are huge, interconnected mats of soil and plants that drift on the river's surface. These floating islands can be large enough and stable enough to support their own ecosystems, becoming home to birds, monkeys, and other animals that live their entire lives afloat on these moving landscapes. Number 16. Let's head south to the wild, windswept landscapes of Patagonia. Here, another invasive species has made a huge mark. European red deer were brought to Argentina in the early 20th century for sport hunting. With only the puma as a potential predator and plenty of food, their population has exploded across the Patagonian steppe and forests. These majestic animals, with stags growing antlers up to 45 inches wide, are now an iconic, if not exactly native, part of the scenery. Number 15. The success of the red deer, however, has come at a price for the native wildlife. As aggressive grazers, they compete directly for food with local herbivores like the guanaco, a wild cousin of the llama. In many areas, the sheer number of red deer has led to overgrazing, which damages the fragile grasslands and forests. Their presence is a classic example of how introducing a single non-native species, no matter how beautiful, can knock an entire ecosystem off balance. Number 14. Our journey now takes us to one of South America's most famous and paradoxical landmarks, the Perito Moreno Glacier in Argentina. For decades, this glacier was famous for being one of the few in the world that was actually stable or even advancing, while other glaciers were in retreat. Its periodic, thunderous ruptures into Lake Argentino were a symbol of nature's raw power. But it turns out that stability was a myth. Number 13. Recent scientific studies have confirmed a shocking and rapid change. Since 2019, the Perito Moreno Glacier has started a major retreat, losing up to 800 meters in some places in just a few years. The rate at which its front is thinning has sped up by more than 16 times compared to the previous 2 decades. Scientists believe the glacier, which was long held in place by an underwater ridge, has lost its anchor and is now in a state of irreversible decline, a delayed but dramatic reaction to a warming climate. Number 12. From ice back to fire, as we head to the Andes, the longest continental mountain range in the world. This 4,300-mile-long spine of South America isn't just a bunch of peaks. It's part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The range is studded with some of the highest active volcanoes on the planet, including Cotopaxi in Ecuador. This intense geologic activity means the Andean landscape is constantly being reshaped by eruptions, earthquakes, and the slow, powerful uplift of tectonic plates. Number 11. Those colossal Andes mountains are directly responsible for creating the driest, non-polar desert in the world, the Atacama. This desert in northern Chile is the ultimate example of a rain shadow. The Andes are so high they block all moisture coming from the Amazon basin to the east, while the Chilean coast range blocks fog and clouds rolling in from the Pacific to the west. This double rain shadow effect creates areas that have gone for centuries without a single drop of rain. Number 10. Yet, despite being hyper-arid, the Atacama Desert isn't completely lifeless. In one of nature's most incredible displays of adaptation, some parts of the desert get just enough moisture from a dense sea fog, known locally as the Camanchaca. This fog rolls in and provides life-giving water for specialized communities of lichens, algae, and hardy cacti that cling to life in one of the most hostile places on Earth. And recently, rare rainfall caused parts of the desert to explode into a spectacular bloom of flowers. We're just over halfway through, and the facts are only getting weirder. If you're enjoying this journey into South America's hidden geography and want to help us make more deep dive content like this, consider supporting our research through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Every bit helps us spend more time digging for these incredible stories. Now, back to the countdown. Number 9. The Andes don't just give us the driest places, they also give us the highest. The range's highest peak is Aconcagua in Argentina, which, at 22,838 feet, is the tallest mountain in both the western and southern hemispheres. It's so massive that it generates its own weather systems, and climbing it is a serious challenge, even though it's technically considered a non-technical climb. Number 8. High in the Andes, on the border of Bolivia and Peru, you'll find Lake Titicaca. What makes this lake so amazing is its altitude. Sitting at 12,507 feet above sea level, it's widely known as the highest navigable lake in the world. For centuries, indigenous communities have lived on and around this high-altitude sea, going so far as to build floating islands out of reeds to live on, creating a unique culture totally adapted to life in the thin mountain air. Number 7. But not all of South America's extremes are high points. In stark contrast to the towering Andes, Argentina is home to the lowest point on the continent. Laguna del Carbón, a salt lake in the Gran Bahía de San Julián, sits at a depth of 344 feet, 105 meters below sea level. This bizarre depression creates a landscape that feels almost alien and attracts a rich diversity of marine wildlife to the shores of the wider peninsula. Number 6. Let's venture to one of the most mystical landscapes on Earth, the Tepuis of Venezuela. These are colossal tabletop mountains with sheer 1,000-foot cliffs that completely isolate their summits from the jungle below. The most famous of them is Mount Roraima, whose otherworldly landscape of strange rock formations, unique plants, and constant cloud cover was the direct inspiration for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's classic novel, The Lost World. Number 5. The extremes of South America's geography can even create strange sounds. In the deserts of Peru and other dry regions, fierce winds blowing across vast sandscapes can create what's known as singing dunes. As the sand grains slide down the face of the dunes, they produce a deep, humming, or even booming sound that can last for several minutes and be heard from miles away. It's a haunting, natural music made by just wind and sand. Number 4. The continent also has some of the wettest places on Earth. Tucked away in western Colombia is the Chaco Department, a region of dense rainforest that gets an almost unbelievable amount of rain. The town of Luaro is often cited as one of the wettest places in the world, with reports of over 500 inches, around 13,000 millimeters, of rain per year. To put that in perspective, that's more than 10 times the rainfall of a city like Miami. On average, it rains over 300 days a year here. Number 3. This extreme rainfall had a direct link to the cartel wars. The relentlessly rainy and impenetrable jungle slopes of the Chaco region provided another perfect waterlogged environment for cartels to hide their operations from the authorities, tying the continent's most extreme weather to its most infamous criminal history. Number 2. The geography of crime also extended to the water. Pablo Escobar's empire wasn't just built in the mountains, it was built on the rivers. His smugglers became experts at using the continent's massive interconnected river systems, creating trafficking routes that linked the Orinoco and Amazon basins. This allowed them to move their products stealthily across thousands of miles of remote jungle, using South America's natural arteries to fuel a global drug trade. Number 1. And finally, we end on the largest island in South America, Tierra del Fuego. Shared by Argentina and Chile, this archipelago at the very southern tip of the continent is a land of subpolar forests, glaciers, and rugged coastlines. Its name, Land of Fire, was given by Ferdinand Magellan's expedition, who saw the smoke from the indigenous people's fires dotting the shoreline. It's a fitting name for a place of such dramatic and raw beauty, a final, wild frontier at the very end of the world. And that's a wrap on 25 facts that prove South America's geography is far more complex, dangerous, and mind-blowing than you ever thought. From boiling rivers and outlaw hippos to lost worlds and singing dunes, the continent is a treasure chest of secrets. The next time you glance at a map, remember that behind the lines and names are stories of incredible natural power, bizarre history, and human resilience. Which facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more incredible geography from around the globe. Thanks for watching.